So we end up with negative 3.5 squared plus 7 times negative 3.5 plus 6. And I had just said I didn't feel like doing a lot of work, and now I complicated it. Yeah. Anyway, so now we're going to do 3.5 times 3.5, and that gives us 12.25. I don't know why I did this to myself. 7 times 3.5 is going to be minus 24.5 plus 6. So we're going to do 12.25 minus 24.5 plus 6, and the answer is negative 6.25. So it tells us our vertex is at negative 3.5 and negative 6.25. Got it? So come over here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. I can't count. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3.5 right there in the middle. Go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.25. So somewhere around there. And so 0 looks like that. Yeah, that graph looks so jacked up. It's midnight. Give me a break. Alright, so it looks something like that. I'm sure your graphs are prettier. I'm sure you got prettier points because you did it in the calculator. I just wanted to do it by hand. Alright, now we move into the discriminant. Okay, so the discriminant is the part that is under the square root on the quadratic formula. So that would be the b squared minus 4ac. Everybody got it? So with the discriminant, the discriminant tells us how many solutions there are going to be. So we know with quadratics, we know that it'll cross the x-axis either twice, once, or none. So what we're going to do is use the the discriminant to figure out how many solutions there are. So let me show you how we could tell how many solutions there are. So here we know our a is 1, our b is negative 4, our c is 3, right? So if we were to plug it into the discriminant, we would end up with b squared minus 4 times the a, which is 1, times the c, which is 3, right? Negative 4 squared is 16. Negative 4 times 3 is going to be negative 12, right? So we get 16 minus 12, which is 4. So our discriminant is 4. Here, whenever your b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0, that tells us we're going to have 2 real solutions. Everybody got that? So when we graph this problem right here, that means it'll cross the graph twice. I'm going to kind of do a, what else was I going to say? Oh, I'm going to quickly factor that so I can get my zeros real quick. So I have x and x, a negative times a positive is a negative, and we know the factors are going to be 1 and 3. So that means my zeros are going to be x equals 1, x equals 3. So I'm at 1, at 3. I'm doing too much. What's hard for me is because I don't have a calculator with me, so I can't do it without doing the work by hand, which, yeah, it sucks. I'm sure y'all doing it faster than me in a calculator. So I want to get one more point. I'm going to use the vertex. And so x equals negative b, 2 negative turn positive, 2 times a, 2 times 1. So x equals 2. So my vertex is at 2. I'm going to plug 2 back in. 2 squared is 4. Negative 4 times 2 is going to be negative 8. Plus 3, 4 plus 3 is 7. 7 minus 1 is negative 1. So my vertex is at 2, negative 1. So sketch of the graph. Oh, I just messed it up. Sketch of the graph looks something like that. Everybody got it? And so if you see, it's crossing the x-axis twice. Okay, so then the other way the discriminant can be is if you have one real solution. And so if your b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0, you'll have one solution. Now I'm jumping ahead and I don't even know if this is the one solution one. Let me see. A is 1, B's 2, C's 1. Plug it in, we get B squared minus 4 times A times C. That's going to be 4 minus 4 equals 0. Good. So yeah, it equals 0. So this would be an example of one solution. So it tells us it's going to cross the x-axis once. If you look at it, we can easily see that the factors are like that of a square, x plus 1 and x plus 1. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. And so remember we talked about the dimensions of a square are the same. So that means this is going to cross the x-axis at -1 if we set it equal to 0. So our graph will look something like that. I'm just doing a sketch. It's just a sketch. I'm not finding points because I don't have time for that. You do. Here, A equals 1, B equals -2, C equals 2. We're going to plug it into the formula, so we get B squared minus 4 times the A times the C. We end up -2 times -2 is 4. That's going to be -4. Oh my, I just went like, that's -8. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. So we end up with -8. So our discriminant here is equal to -4. So when B squared minus 4AC is less than 0, which means it's a negative number, then that is going to be there are no solutions. And so this would be an example where the graph will be hanging up in the air. It doesn't cross the x-axis. Something like that. Everybody got it? So what's the purpose in the discriminant, the part under the square root? All it is just telling us how many solutions we'll have. We either have 2 if it crosses the x-axis twice, and the discriminant is greater than 0. If it's equal to 0, it means it'll cross it once. And if it's less than 0, a negative number, that means that your quadratic function is not going to cross it. Now, do you necessarily have to use a discriminant? I mean, it's good to know how to use it. But if you have a calculator and you just graph the function, you'll see how many times it's crossing. But it's good to always know both ways. So here, example 4 is just asking us to use the discriminant, and the directions aren't fully. It's missing some. Using the discriminant, tell how many solutions there are. I bet you it says something like that. Tell the number of solutions. So here our A is B, 3. Our B is 10. C is 2. So we have B squared minus 4 times the A of 3 times C. 10 squared is 100. That's going to be -12. 4 times 3 is -12. -12 times 2 is going to be -24. -24 is going to be 76. Our B squared is greater than 0. So that tells us we're going to have 2 real solutions. Everybody got that? Oh, you can't even see what I mean. There it is. Got it? Okay, the next one, now we're going to A equals 9, B equals -6, C equals +1. So we have -6 squared minus 4 times A of 9 times C. 6 squared is 36. -4 times 9 is -36 times 1 is -36. That's equal to 0. So how many solutions do we have? 1. Good job. And the last one, A1, B's 1, C's 1. So we end up with B squared minus 4 times A times C. It's going to give us 1 squared minus 4, which is -3. A negative number, B squared is less than 0, so it tells us it's going to have no solution. And that sums up the quadratic formula. I know it was choppy. It's midnight. I'm tired. Probably made some mistakes along the way. Charge it to my head, not to my heart. See you on Monday. Pause, rewind, go back and look at it on your Chromebooks to figure it out. It's really easy. All it is just plugging stuff in to see how many solutions you have for the discriminant, or either using graphing, factoring, or quadratic formula to figure out what the solutions are. Good luck. Start on your handout.